This is Out Loud and Laughing.
Today, we are sitting down with a man who has mastered the art of radical honesty. He's the person who makes you feel like you've been best friends for 10 years, even if you just hit play 5 minutes ago. He's a digital powerhouse, a serial rambler, in the best way possible, and the host of the hit podcast, He's My Girl. He's gone from curated content to being the internet's go-to voice for the messy, beautiful truth about dating, body image, and finding your spirit. Stephen Peters, welcome to the show.
Wow, I need that like framed in my apartment somewhere. That was incredible. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you here.
I love so much about this connection. We'll get into it as we go, but we have our Florida selves, we have the New York aspect, just so much going on that we are connected by. Looking forward to digging in with that. So again, thanks for being here today, Stephen.
Stephen, where are you today? Are you in Florida? Are you in New York? Where are you?
Back in New York. Yeah, I was actually down in Florida. So my family's from there. I'm from there originally from Orlando. I've lived in Miami twice. I went to college there in Miami. So it's like my second home. I love it. No offense to any Floridians listening, it's just not my jam anymore. There's so many things I can't get behind anymore, but I love to go down there when I can, but no, back up in New York.
That's hysterical. My background is literally Florida right now.
You where are you in Florida? I meant to ask you that.
Oh yeah, of course. Currently in St. Petersburg, Florida. So it's like cold for Florida right now, which is really
That's what I heard. I heard they got a cold front.
Yeah, we're snapping, but we're we pulled out our old San Francisco our threads, so we're here.
I like it.
I do want to play up on the Florida thing, Stephen, because I do think, you're from Orlando. John and I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. So, I mean, kind of different, but kind of the same. And you kind of alluded to it, but when you look back at the state of things back in our home right now, what's the first word that comes to mind?
I'm just disappointed, I guess. I know we don't need to get, I guess, deep into the political of it all, but the reason I left in the first place was because I didn't feel like it was where it should be. And I left many years ago. I mean, I left when I was, many years ago, almost a decade ago. And I think that you have to remember too, I come from Chicago and I come from New York now, right? Like I did 5 years Chicago and now I'm in New York. Arguably probably the most liberal of them all, of the top 5, right, in the States. When you can compare the two places, it's really hard to ever want to go back. My family and I go back as much as I can to visit, but my family all the time is like, well, when you have kids, when you get married, and I'm like, I don't even know that I'll be able to get married here. And again, it's a great place to visit. I think it's incredible. I think there are great parts to it. But when I look down to like where I want to settle and where I want to, honestly, above all, feel safe, to me, that's paramount. I can go anywhere in New York. And I mean, we always joke, and a lot of us say in New York, like you could walk down Fifth Avenue naked and nobody's going to turn around. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. Nobody cares in New York. There's places I've gone in Florida, I don't want to hold another guy's hand because I'm like, I just don't feel comfortable, So safety, I guess, really kind of is the word for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's spot on. A part of me, and John found a little pocket in Florida that's very like super inclusive, so I'm happy for him. A part of me, the day after I graduated, I went to University of Florida, and the day after I graduated, I just got in my car and fucking left. I just drove to LA, and I was like, I cannot do this. And I am married with kids now, and I'm not back in Florida, so you can tell your family it is possible to stay away, even when you have kids. So I completely agree. But I think
not to cut you off, but I don't want to be a downer and be like, screw Florida, Florida sucks.
No.
Like there's so many beautiful parts of Florida, but I'm just speaking, if you look at like the umbrella of it all, it's just, that's what makes me nervous.
It's the halo of it all, like that John has to deal with.
Right. And as like someone who sort of lives it, right? I came from, something else we have in common, Stephen, is the Chicago piece. So when I graduated from college in Florida, I hightailed it out of here and I went to Chicago, actually. And after that, spent many years in San Francisco. All of these great cities full of inclusivity, diversity, and celebrating each other and our authenticity. And then, a little life hiccup sent me packing and I made it back home. And Florida's been a healing place for me, St. Petersburg specifically. But outside of that, you're so spot on, right? Like it sucks to throw Florida under the bus simply because of how beautiful the state is. But when you have politics that really run it amok, any of the red states, any of the blue states, we don't have to take it and drag it through the mud. I think our audience understands the story here. You know, it's a beautiful place. So I totally agree with you. It's like unfortunate, right?
Right. It's just unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way.
It
No,
doesn't.
and maybe it won't be that way forever.
Right.
Let's switch gears, Stephen, because
Okay.
you have built an incredible community by being a serial rambler, right? But there's a difference between just talking and also being vulnerable. And I know you recently shifted from doing like pop culture commentary to being incredibly open about body dysmorphia and food. What was the exact moment, like the aha moment for you when you realized that the curated version of Stephen was no longer enough?
What a good question. I love that question. When I started the podcast in 2022. And as you speaking to podcasters, in the beginning, at least, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know really what, I mean, you have an idea, right? When I started the show, I wanted to do exactly what I'm doing content wise right now. But then sometimes it doesn't land or sometimes it doesn't get picked up or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I like pop culture. I watch Housewives sometimes. So maybe that's going to work. So I feel like I've been going through this like ebb and flow of what I'm going to do, because I know I want to be doing stuff like this. I know I'm supposed to be doing stuff like this. And I just found I was like so unfulfilled. I was like, I don't care what the Housewives are doing, like I'm starting to get less and less interested. No knock to them again at all, but it's just not, I was like, I want to do something more real. And, it was, I think in November, I posted this reel that was, and again, had nothing planned. I had no idea it was going to do well. I did a reel in November that was, it was like, what's it like to be gay in 2025? So I basically just went through everything and I talked about drug culture, dating, sex, friendships, the highs and lows basically. And it went crazy. I mean, it went nuts. And I had no intention of that happening. And when that happened, though, it was kind of a beautiful moment because I was like, oh, like I'm not the only one that feels this way. I have pretty traditional views on a lot of things. And normally I feel very black sheep. I'm like, well, I shouldn't share this because this isn't popular. Nobody's going to like this. And again, I don't even know that you need to necessarily agree with every single view I have, but a lot of what I think I have to say is something that someone's felt at some point, whether that is the body dysmorphia thing, whether that is wanting monogamy and wanting a relationship where you're not open. And again, there's no shade to anyone who does any of those other things, but I do think it hit people because it was like, oh wait, I may not agree with those three things he said, but that last part every day, you know what I mean? And it went nuts. And it just made me realize, like, as a creator, that there's, people want to hear it and people want to feel seen.
There's something that happens, right, when you like break that ceiling of like what I think people want versus you reaching the authentic parts of yourself and showing that and being that vulnerable actually forms those connections. I love that because you've also been navigating sober curiosity lately. Personally, as someone who doesn't drink, I'm all too familiar with this world that often demands that we be on or out at every event, right? So, on top of like, leaning into this vulnerability, what then has this sobriety curiosity taught you about these parts of yourself that you were originally trying to quiet down or hide?
Well, I feel like with the sober curiosity of it all, I think kind of, I feel like for years, probably all of my 20s, I felt like I was just trying to fit in. I feel like I was constantly just trying to fit in with the party scene, fit in with whoever I was dating, fit in with what I then, I guess, believed was to be true of a gay man living in his 20s. Like, well, I'm 25 living in Chicago. I should be in Boys Town every night getting blasted. You know what I mean? Like, just drunk off my ass. And I was, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, that's what I'm so. And again, there's no shade to that. But then you wake up one day and I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like that. And again, I drink here and there, but I don't drink even close to one. I can't do it. I'll die. Like I literally can't. I will be in bed for 3 days straight. But it genuinely just doesn't make me feel good. It really just doesn't make me feel good. And so the more and more that I would do, like, try January, or I'm going to go 3 months, or I'm going to go 2 weeks, or whatever, I was like, I'm sleeping better. I feel better. I'm beyond clear on what I want. My clarity is through the roof, as far as everything, as far as the friends that I'm associating with, as far as the guys I'm dating or going on dates with. And the pros outweigh the cons completely. You know what I mean? And again, will I drink every now and then? Yes. Will I have fun and let loose every now and then? Yes. But to me, what's more important is waking up in the morning and like not feeling crazy or awful and going to the gym or going for a walk or whatever. Like, and I'm so boring. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm so boring, but I love it. And the good feeling, just, I don't want to lose that. The mental of it all, it doesn't even, I mean, yes, physically you start to look a little better too, but the mental for me and the emotional and not like wanting to cry every time I wake up, that's paramount to me.
It's the
It's real.
self-care of it all.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
I
It's
feel
very
like
important.
just it is super important. And going back to self-care a little bit, like I think you alluded to it. Like you talked about how some of your videos went viral and you've gone viral for some of your dating culture takes and I think the complexities of the down low and how men navigate their identities. So you are sparking massive debate, but how do you at the end of the day still protect your spirit when your personal life becomes kind of public?
Yeah, that's actually a very you guys are good at this. Very good questions because it's stuff I've also thought about.
Yeah.
When it comes to the dating thing, I'm finally really starting to intentionally date, and I feel like I'm a lover. Like I am a lover. I've always believed in love. I believe it conquers all, like all the cheesy stuff. But I haven't been good at it. Like I've gone a very big part of my time just so not good at it. And again, I think a lot of that has to be reflective of who I was, right? Like nobody, I always say when people are like, oh, my ex is so, well, you dated the person, you know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, my ex sucks. Yeah, a lot of our exes suck, but you chose to stay there for a while, you know what I mean? For the most part. So I really try to, I'm very, very reflective these days as to like the why. Why was I in, there was 12 guys in a row. Why would I even give that guy the time of day? You know what I mean? But I think it speaks way more volumes as to who I was and how I felt about myself than the relationship, didn't even matter. And so today I'm really reflective of that in the sense of like, I'm careful about like what I'm saying, but I'm also not because I'm like, whoever can, if a guy was to go onto my page and feel some type of way about something, then that's not who I'm supposed to be with. You know what I mean? Like if they feel some type of way because I'm speaking out on XYZ, then I'm okay with that. If anything, it's kind of like weeding out, I think, the ones that it's never gonna happen. But I also think in a beautiful way, it's also brought me, I think it's gotten the attention of people that I way more align with, like way more I'm way more aligned with the people that are coming into my life today. And I think it's because I am being so vocal on socials. But it's scary. It's also really scary. I'm sure you guys get like even talking on the podcast, you're like, well, I don't want to say this because it might turn off somebody or it might make somebody feel, I don't know, but it's kind of nice. It's been more of a good thing for me than a bad.
And I think you really start to find depth in yourself when you start to make choices. Said, some of the choices you made are offering you clarity. One of those being, choosing when to drink and it not feeling like something you have to do all the time, or, really believing in the content that you're putting out there. I mean, that changes the game, right? If you believe it, then it's much easier for others to subscribe.
Totally. And again, I think it's kind of nice. It's like, oh, there are other people who and guys and potential interests that feel how I feel on things. And it's just nice. Cause again, I went a very long time thinking it's just me. I really did. I know that's cheesy, but I did. And so to even get a message of somebody being like, you're so handsome. However, you're also, speaking on something that like I really have felt for years. And I'm like, that to me is so much more important. I love that.
Layers. Now, can we get a little personal? How is dating in New York right now?
Okay. So dating in New York is and I try to be so careful on saying this because I do believe what you put out comes back.
Yes.
Dating in New York is very difficult. I used to be like, it's trash, it sucks, guys here are terrible. It's just hard. And I
Hmm.
think that it's hard because the options are endless. I mean, endless. You can, you find one flaw and you can fix it by the next guy that you meet at the bar. Like it's just crazy town. And I mean, I moved here really believing again that like you'll find somebody and you fall in love and you run off, into the West Village and have dinner and all
The
these
Carrie
things.
Bradshaw
And it's
moment.
just not that easy. You'll date somebody for a few weeks, you'll probably get ghosted or they're not ready or they're with their ex or whatever. I've been here for 3 years and it has been one thing after the other. And you're gonna laugh, but I've had to go elsewhere. Like I've started talking to people who are not in New York or are not native New Yorkers. I've recently kind of been chatting with somebody now who's not here, and I'm like, part of me doesn't want to do that, but then I go on the dating scene in New York and it's not working for me. It's not happening. So I'm not saying he's not here, but it's not looking too good.
I have to tell you, right when I gave up hope, I found one, and he was on the app. So we've been together almost going on 6 months, 5 or 6
Wow. Okay, that
months. And
gives me hope.
so
I like that. I like
there's
that.
just, I mean, but listen, I think it like boils back to everything you were just talking about, like knowing what you want, knowing how to identify the things that honor and dishonor your beliefs, and things that celebrate you for the authentic person that you're becoming and that you are, right? So it's
Right.
like, it's my therapist, one of my, a therapist once said to me, the more aware you become, the harder it will be for you to go into the world because you're just going to realize that not everybody's aware, and so you just become more and more isolated that way. You know.
That's very true.
And I would say I have been with my partner since March 2013, and he came over at 11 p.m. on Grinder and just never fucking left.
Okay, see, these I need to hear stuff like this because it really does give me hope. I'm like, maybe it's possible. It's gonna
You
happen.
know, I would just say it is possible, but
It
I was
is. I
like
will say
you.
again, I've met as of recent some really great people and
Yeah,
someone people that are catching my attention very much. And so
it's all
that
timing.
that feeling, they don't have to. They're not in New York, which isn't ideal, but the fact that they're even like in my life feels great, and that's all that matters. So
But it's so spot on. It's all timing.
it is
And to the point of there's so many great men out there, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is meant for everybody, right?
correct.
So, hey, good luck. You're gonna
Thank
do it. You're on your way, and
You got this.
you go,
Thanks. I
Glenn. You
appreciate
go,
that.
Glenn Coco.
Fingers crossed. For fingers crossed. We are.
Finger-
My goal is to, like I said, intentionally date. So like I'm just being way more intentional now today than I was a year or two ago. So it's nice.
That's very good. That's a change, right? And so, like, we all have these aspirations of what our lives look like, and those. I'm gonna just say Cinderella dreams, kind of, or Prince Charming dreams, I guess, in our world. But if you could like sit down with the little boy in the back from Florida who first realized that he was different, right? The kid who didn't know that one day he'd have thousands of besties listening to his every word. Like, what would you whisper to him? Like, whether he was out dating, single, whatever, like, what does he need to hear today?
That you're enough.
Mm.
I know that's so cheesy, but it's so
No.
true. That you're enough because again, I'm sure you guys, I was like picked on every day. Like it never stopped. It was about everything. The way I spoke or the way I walked or the way I, hung out with too many girls or, it lasted forever. And I just remember every day being like, it's gotta get better. It's gotta get better. It's gotta get better. And then it did. And I think, I would just be like, you are enough. And it's stuff that I still deal with today. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's so confident. He's on social media. He's posting." I'm like, "I do you know that I have like X, Y, and Z things I'm still dealing with from a relationship 10 years ago or bullying in middle school or what like we're all still dealing with stuff, you know what I mean? So, I would just tell him he's enough and it's you're going to do good things, kid.
And
I
this is
love
why
that.
I love that too. But Brian, if you don't mind, really quickly, this is why it's so
Yeah.
important. This is why it's so important because you like immediately said, Steven, like I know it's cheesy, but and like, it's so important. Like the work that we are all doing, like you especially, because we're highlighting your work today, right? Like creating space to allow this to come through allows people to really realize that we're all really alone and when we're in our own heads. It's getting out in front of each other. It's putting these stories out there, sharing with one another, like, meeting with strangers where we were strangers until we were friends and besties now, right? So it's really important to realize that those are the things that we do to change the trajectory, right? We make choices to reach out and to create these moments that you are creating and building this incredible community. So kudos
Well,
to
thank
you.
you. And back at you guys. And I want to highlight what you said because I do think that I think there's just so much importance in conversation. You know what I mean? In what you guys are doing with the show, what I'm doing with content, like I've really realized that lately is that we could have a whole conversation about how the world could be better, but our community in particular, I think would just thrive if we all just like spoke to each other on how we're really feeling. Not this just like yeah, girl, I'm good. You know what I mean? And it's like you cried for 3 hours and you just don't want to acknowledge it, right? Or that you're really dealing like I've had so many friends lately talk about, anxious attachment when it comes to relationships or drugs. And again, we don't have to agree on everything. There's a lot of things I say that people don't agree with. But okay, so I'm more of a monogamous person. Talk to me about your open relationship. I would love to hear it. I've never once said that I don't want to hear about it or I don't agree with it. It's just not for me. It's not my thing, but we can still talk about it. I just think that it's to your point, I think it's beautiful that it's kind of cool to see us all doing things that are like sparking these topics and conversations because we went forever not doing it. You know what I mean? Like I went forever never speaking about anything, and now it's you almost just feel liberated to be able to do so. So I think we're very lucky.
It's heavy to keep it in, right? I
Yeah,
think we were all that fifth grader that just thought these things but couldn't say any of these things.
correct.
And so, you know, it's kind of nice to just kind of get it all out and be
It
in a
is.
different
It's very
place.
nice.
Okay, Steven, we're going to do what we call this or that now. This is our little fun game to make it a little bit lighter because we dug deep and we really appreciate that. But now we want to kind of learn who is Steven.
Okay,
So
let's do
no
it.
overthinking, just the
Okay.
vibe. Let us know if you're ready.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready.
It's time for another round of this or that, the unhinged get to know you game.
All right. And if you want to give us a little bit of reasons why you picked your answer, we love that too.
Okay.
Okay. Are we a butt guy or a chest guy?
Chest.
That was
Love a
too easy.
chest. Yeah, I'm trying to like do my own because I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I just like a good chest on somebody. It's like all I care about.
So fair. I would agree. Are you a meeting out on an app or meeting out in the wild?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna be honest, I don't go in the wild like I used to, so I'm probably gonna have to be the app guy. I would say that's gonna be more my jam this because I think you can just kind of suss them out. You know what I mean? Like I can almost tell immediately when somebody's just trying to call me over for an 11 o'clock thing, which again works
No shade.
sometimes. So I need to
I
be a
get
little
it.
more open minded. But probably the app just so I can kind of weed them out. You know?
I always like the app because I feel like it was almost like internet shopping, right? You're like, you're just kind
Exactly.
of scrolling, you know?
Exactly. And they can say that one thing where you're like, thank God I didn't waste my time at that
Correct.
dinner, you know?
Correct. Okay. Do you prefer to be the person that gives out radical honesty that hurts or a little gentle white lie?
Oh, probably the first, probably the one that hurts a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I want that, you know. I hate when people dance around it. I'm like, I don't have to, who has the time? So I need it quick and honest. I think that's probably very New York now of me to just be like, just say it now so that we can move on and not make it a thing. I'll probably want that better than the white lie.
Love it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Are you a shower guy or a bath guy?
Shower. I never take baths. Even when I don't
Oh.
even I just have a shower now, but even when I had a bath, there's to me, even if I could have somebody come scrub it for 3 hours or something about the fact that somebody else was in it before. I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah. I feel like that's a very polarizing question,
I think
actually.
so too. It really is. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely more of a shower.
Okay. This one's answer how you want. Are you pitching at the game or catching?
Catching.
Fun. That's a
Love
fun.
it.
You know,
Love
it's a very
baseball.
I
important
mean,
role.
I can do both. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
hello, we
Like,
can-
I'm very well versed in the baseball game.
for sure. Yeah. We can definitely do both, but we're probably catching for sure.
We're playing the field. I'm more of like in between second and third base, like playing it
Okay,
off.
I
To
like
the,
that.
Playing it
I
off to
like
the
that,
side.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you looking for Florida sun or NYC energy?
New York City energy. I love the sun, but I've realized that within the past few years, like I need that hustle. I need somebody who's trying to make shit happen. Like I like the energy for sure.
Same. When I
Yeah.
go into the city for work, like 3 or 4 times a week, I come home just excited.
Well, for sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Scruff or no scruff?
I like a little scruff. I do like a little, I mean, I have this, so I feel like I have to. I do like a little scruff. It doesn't need to be this like super long thing, but I do like a little scruff. I think that guys just look handsome with it.
Me too. That's why I wear mine. Um, Last one on the this or that. Would you rather be remembered for your humor or your heart?
My heart, for sure. I like to think sometimes I'm both, but I definitely think that I have a decent heart, so I would probably rather be known for that.
A decent heart's good.
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right, Steven, before we let you go, where can everyone find you, listen to your podcast, join your community, give all the things?
Yeah, so for the podcast, I'm going to be honest, and you guys know this, it's so much work.
Mhm.
It's just a lot, and I'm going to be honest with the content growing, and I also work a job and have a little side thing, and I had to kind of pause the podcast for right now. So the episodes are still there. It's still active. It's still live. It's He's My Girl. You can go listen to it. I'm very proud of the work I did. I'm not saying it's like forever, but you guys know it's so much work. Like I don't think anybody really knows that
It's
what
a
goes
lot.
into. It's not just I had a friend once be like, you just press record and send. I'm like, I wish. I
Right?
wish. Who does
Yeah.
that? You know, I was like, I sit there and I cut it and I edit and the audio and the clips and the interview. And I'm like, and I was a one man band. It was just me. So I was like, I need to just take a break. So long winded, but the podcast is there if you want to listen. As far as finding me at Stephen D. Peters on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as well. You can go find some stuff.
We will be looking for you, Stephen. It has been an absolute joy. You really are the bestie we all need in our ears and eyes. So thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Steven.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.